All right, what is going on, guys? Cam here, back with another video. And today I am going to be doing a quick cleanup of this Yashica Mat-124 G that I actually just recently got. So I got this camera. It's in decent condition. It does have some bumps and scrapes on the side here. But one thing is, with a lot of these cameras, sometimes you can have, like the internals, there can be some dust on the focus screen and stuff like that. I don't know if you'd be able to see it. I mean, the focus screen is nice and everything, but could use a little bit of cleaning. And the other thing is the taking lens can sometimes have some haze on it with these 124G cameras. So this is a beautiful camera. I ended up picking it up from somebody local here in Toronto. I got a good deal on it. And I have a Yashica D, but I wanted to upgrade to the Yashica Mat-124. Just because I love the design and the look of this camera. And it is the last medium format TLR that Yashica made. So this was kind of my goal, to get this camera at some point. So I'm happy that I was able to scoop it up. And I was happy that I got a really nice price on it too. So with all that said, I've done this before with my Yashica D, although I didn't record it and post it online or anything of that nature. I just did it on my own. But to clean, what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to open up the top here and clean out the mirror, and maybe give the focus screen a bit of a clean as well. I'll see pretty much exactly what it needs. But I did notice when I opened it up and I would look through, if you open it up here actually, and then, I mean, you won't be able to see it on camera there, but if you put this up to a light, like the focus screen area up to a light, and then look through the top lens here, the looking lens, you can see the mirror. And when I look through it, I can actually see a lot of, actually, I don't know if I can, no, it's not going to show up on the camera, but if you put this side up to a light and then look through here, you can see a lot of the dust that's on the mirror. And especially when I look through the top, you won't be able to see it there, but when I'm looking through the top there and looking to take a photo, I can notice that there's a lot of like dust and dirt on the mirror. So I wanted to just open this up and clean that out. So doing this is actually a fairly straightforward, simple process. I guess I'll just go over what you will need first. The first thing you'll need is just a tool to open up the screws here. So there's 4 screws that go around the edge of the ground glass focusing screen here. So you need a screwdriver that's small enough to fit that, so that you can unscrew them safely without screwing up the screw. So I have this is pretty excessive, but I have a screwdriver here, and it has like this extension, so you can go like very close, like as vertical as possible to the actual camera. Because just with this thing, it's kind of thick. I'm gonna have to come in through the side, and it's probably gonna completely eat out, like destroy the screw. So I don't want to do that. So you're gonna need that. The other thing I would suggest is grab like a cleaning kit. You want to get like some like a rocket blower, like a lens pen if you have one. I also have a cleaner here, lens cleaner. I'm going to be using that. Some microfiber, clean microfiber cloth, and I also have some toothpicks as well. So I'm going to be using all of these today. And also goes without saying, but make sure your hands are clean. Use gloves if you'd like, and make sure you have like a clean working surface. You don't want to get in there and make things dirtier than they already are. So I'm just going to get started here. So what you want to do is you want to pop this open. You want to pop open the focus screen because it gives you like much more easier access to the screws here. And what you're going to want to do is you have 2 screws on this side and 2 screws on the other side. So I'm going to start by just unscrewing this here. So I'm going to do one here. And you might need to put a little bit of force. It shouldn't be too hard to get it out. We have this one here. And it's actually coming out fairly simply, fairly easily. And we have these 2 right here on this side. So we'll get that. You see here, this is in focus. Hopefully everything's in focus for you guys to see. So we have these right here. So we'll take this out here. And again, you want to try to be as like vertical on here as possible so you don't completely destroy the screws. Although if that does happen, quite honestly, it's good just to get replacement screws, but at the same time, just try not to, you know, destroy them if you can. That's the best thing. All right, so we got all 4 out there. I'm just gonna put this here, and then this should lift off. No problem, just like that. So there we go, that just comes completely off. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but if I darken it towards the light there a little bit, you can kind of see it a little bit there, but the screen is pretty dirty. There's some like dust and whatnot there. My camera is having some issue focusing on it. It's kind of weird, but it's right in here. So it is pretty dusty, it is pretty dirty. And very simply, I'm just going to, you could take this out completely. There's a little tab here, which you push back, and then the whole screen lifts out. And you just want to be careful that you don't damage or touch any of the internals over here. So I'm just going to lift this. I'm just going to push this back. Let me see if I have some tweezers here. So what I'll do is I'll pull this tab back and just lift the screen out very carefully. Don't want to break any of these internal parts here. With these cameras, they are very old, so you do want to make sure that you are taking a lot of care when doing any of this. So just move the camera aside here. We have the glass here, and you can see it is fairly dirty. So I'm just simply going to take some, I'm going to start actually just with a simple cotton swab. I like to start with something that's like fairly, you know, simple and small with these Q-tip cotton swabs. It's very, they are very delicate. I like to start with that, you know, and not do anything too crazy. So this is just, I just have a lens cleaner spray. I was doing some research as to what kind of spray or chemicals to use or not to use on this, and the general consensus that I'm reading is you want to try not to use anything too abrasive. I do have like rubbing alcohol here, and a lot of the stuff I was reading was saying not to use rubbing alcohol. It's probably not a good idea. So I just have this lens cleaner, you know, it's approved for lenses, and a lot of these kits, sometimes they can just come with, you know, if you buy a lens or a camera or, you know, a lot of the times if you're buying a lot of photo gear, sometimes they'll send you these kits, or you can just go on Amazon and get one yourself. They're not that expensive, but point being is you want to make sure that the liquid you're using is not like an abrasive liquid that's gonna like destroy anything too much. So this does have a little bit of like streaking on it. Just want to make sure we Give it a nice rub down here, a nice clean. Try to get it really, really nice and clean. So already it's looking a lot better. I am seeing like a bit of a blue tinge here. I'm just wondering if that's just the, like, you know, the mirror itself. But it is like, when I opened it up, it was super dirty. You guys probably saw it there on the video. But it's looking much, much better now. As you can see right there, nice and clean. Got all of that dirt and grime off. Looks a lot better. I might just give this a quick spray here. I'm just gonna move the cameras out of the way a little bit. I'll give this a quick spray. One more, and I'll just clean it with the microfiber. Give it a nice clean here. And the thing with cleaning these cameras is, like, they are, like the TLR cameras, this one, the Yashica Mat, is like, I think it was manufactured around the 80s, and it's like 2024 now, so you're still talking about like a 40-year-old camera. Some of these TLRs are pretty old, but with all that said, you do want to be careful and make sure you're being very delicate. So even just looking through the reflection there, it's not like 100% perfect, albeit this is a very old like camera, but looking through the reflection, it's a lot better than what I was seeing before. So I'm just going to place that aside. Just going to take a quick look at my focus screen here and see if it needs any cleaning itself. It looks okay, to be honest with you guys, but I'm just going to give it a quick hit with the rocket blower here. Get any dust out of there on the ground screen. One thing you do want to keep in mind with this is you want to be very careful that you don't actually put any chemicals on the focus screen here. So the thing with these is that they are very they have these markings on them a lot of the time, and if you put any chemicals or anything on that, it could actually remove the markings, or it could destroy the focus screen completely. So I'm actually not going to hit this with any kind of spray or anything. I'm just going to use my brush and my lens pen and see what I can do there. At the end of the day, you do have to remember, like, these are very old cameras, and like, they're not, you know, you're not going to get a completely clean, you know, screen or anything like that. It's just kind of the nature of these cameras. You just kind of want to get it as good as you can. So I'm just looking at it now. It looks okay to me. And I figure, you know, the other side, I could probably have some like kind of grime or something here. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to go too nuts on it, but it does look a little, there is some kind of residue here. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, you don't want to go too crazy on this. Kind of just get what you can get and deal with the rest. So, like I said, these are like old cameras, old parts. You just have to be very careful. Oh, the microfiber got it pretty good. That's good. So that looks pretty good to me. Just gonna make sure it's all cleaned up here. Maybe give it one last blow with the rocket blower. So that looks pretty good. This side's pretty good. And I'm just gonna take a quick look at the inside of here. Oh, and then yeah, I guess the actual lens itself there. I'm gonna give it a quick clean on the inside. The looking lens, not the taking lens here. So just rocket blow everything out of there. Here we go. 1 second here. Okay. I'm noticing the focus is jumping around, so I think I'm just gonna drop this into manual focus there so it doesn't jump around as much. So we'll give that a quick rocket blow. And then I'm gonna grab a fresh Q-tip, spray it with a little bit of lens cleaner, and just try to clean up the looking lens there. So I'll give this a quick clean here. And when I did this on the mirror, the Q-tip was, I mean, I have it sitting here. It was absolutely disgusting. There was a lot of dirt on it, so it needed a nice clean. This one has some dirt on it too. So I'm just going in like a circular motion here, cleaning up the lens. And you know, keep in mind, you do want to be careful, but these cameras were built, you know, like a lot of things back in the day, they were built pretty resiliently. That's not to say go like nuts on it or, you know, pour water all over this and try to clean it. But you should be able to like clean this no problem. Just gonna rocket blow it there and make sure I got almost everything. I think I did a pretty decent job. It's gonna be hard to see this on camera. I'm just gonna hold it up to the light here. That's always a good idea to hold, you know, use lights and everything around you to make sure you got a proper clean on this. I think I do see a little bit still on top here. Let me just double check. Also keep in mind with the angle that you're cleaning this on, like it's hard to get like up to the top here. So just make sure when you are like, you know, just try to get in there. Sometimes it's better. I actually did see one. I'm going to try this. I saw a video online where this gentleman took the Q-tip and like bent it a little bit. I'm going to like, just like this. Just going to give that a shot. Let me try that. Works really well. Sometimes the simplest things are the best. So I'm just going to take that and I'm just going to, yeah, that's a lot better. That lets you get on the upper side of the taking lens here. So I'm able to get a nice clean there. Just give it a little more. And the thing with Q-tips is, obviously I would say make sure you use like good quality ones. So don't just get them from the dollar store. Make sure you get like, you know, some pretty, and you can even see, I don't know if you guys can see there, this is like super dirty right now. So I'm just gonna bend the other side. So this dirty side is the side that I cleaned it with, and I'm gonna use the other side to just dry it off here. So we're just drying it here. And I think that looks pretty solid to me. I'm just gonna hold it up to the light and double check. And yeah, that looks actually really great. Just gonna put that down, put this aside, give it a quick hit with the rocket blower. There we go. And I think that should be it for cleaning it. So I'm gonna just grab the mirror here. And let's just see. So I'm gonna grab the mirror. The mirror still looks good to me. Just gonna give it one quick wipe here, just in case, you know, in case it got any dust or grime on it when I was cleaning anything else. And the whole thing with this is you want to avoid doing this multiple times. You want to do this as little as possible. Obviously keep your camera you know, properly. Don't just leave it sitting out, or, you know, store your cameras in a proper case and everything so they can avoid getting dust on them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop this into the bottom here. Actually, what I have to do is I got to push this back so it can slot in to these here. There's two holders for the mirror on the side here. So what I'm going to do is drop it behind there, get it in those little, I don't know if you see those little two holders. You need to throw it in there. There we go. Fit right in, snaps right in. And I'm just going to take a Q-tip because I was using my hands. And if you have gloves, for sure use those so you're not getting handprints, fingerprints on your mirror there. And even just looking through it right now, it looks really great. Just Just going to give it a quick rocket blow. There is a little bit of thing there. A little bit of Q-tip there. Q-tips are kind of a, you know, double-edged sword. They're really great because they're really small and they can give you a really precise clean. But then at the same time, they can leave these little like, you know, cotton pieces in there. But right now, this looks super solid. Just going to give it one last blow. Make sure it's really nice and clean. And I'm doing this a lot, like the blower a lot, because, you know, once you close this up again, you want to make sure it's like super clean, because you don't want to be opening this all the time. This isn't something that you really want to like do, you know, after every shoot. You want to just make sure you do this, you know, every, like as little as you can. The idea is to keep the camera as clean as you can without having to open it and do this over and over. You risk damaging the camera essentially, right? So I'm just going to take a quick look at the focus screen here. I'm going to take this off camera for a second, and already that looks like a million miles better. There are a few like little specks here. I'm wondering if I can just actually take a look here. Yeah, there are a few little specks in the ground glass. Gonna see if maybe, oh yeah, that just pretty much fully blew off there. Yeah, this looks super nice. Really happy with that. There is a screen on this as well. The Yashica Mat-124 Gs have this, I forget what they call it. Slipping my mind right now, but it's a secondary plastic that's underneath the ground glass that gives it a little more illumination when you're looking through it. And I think there might be something in between there. And the stuff I was reading online and looking online on you know, different people who repair these cameras and whatnot, they said to be very careful with that. So I'm actually not going to, like, you know, take that apart and try to get the dust out and do all that. I'm just gonna live with it because I don't want to damage the camera itself. So it was a little tricky there to get that back on, but I did get it back on. You just got to jiggle it a little bit and don't force it too hard. You don't want to break anything. But I did end up getting it back on there. How long are we going here? Oh, 23 minutes. Wow, it's a long video. And again, just throw the screws on. Try to get them as straight as possible. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to do like kind of, just going to put them in and not tighten them right away. I'm just going to go across here, throw this one back in, get the screw straight, give it a few turns. Just got to make sure all this is lined up properly. I'm actually not sure if that screw's lined up. Oh, it might not be. There we go. So I guess just keep that in mind, is this may, like the holes may not line up perfectly at first. Which this one's giving me a bit of a problem. I might try another one here. Let's see which one I threw in. Let me try the back one. See if I can get this in there. Goes without saying, but make sure you have enough light to throw this in. Have some patience, have some time. You don't want to do this in a rush. Okay, we've got that one to go in. Let's try the ones on the front. One thing I did notice, actually, when I did this with my Yashica D, is that depending on how much you tighten each screw, it can actually change the tension of the focus screen, which I didn't expect, and it was a little weird that that happened, but it did happen. So that's why I'm kind of just preliminarily putting these in, and then I'm going to give them a nice tighten once they're all in properly. Not too tight, obviously, though. You just want to obviously make sure it's like in properly and holding the focus screen down. You don't want to do it loose, but at the same time, you don't want to like crank this in. It doesn't require a lot of pressure. So I'm just going to check the focus screen. Yeah, still closing. Since this is like a moving part of the camera, it is a good idea to just make sure that, you know, as you're closing it up, as you're going through each stage of putting this camera back together, that everything is kind of still working. I think the last thing you want is to, you know, put everything back together and then realize like, oh my God, something's wrong with the camera, right? You want to just try to fix things before you completely close it up. So that's that. Everything looks great on here. I think I'm just going to give this a quick wipe at the front. The viewing lens, and that should be pretty solid. Let me take a quick look through here. I'm going to point it at my light, and already I can see it looks miles better. And again, you're not going to get like 100% of the way with this. These cameras are, you know, they're probably older than you and I. So what you want to do is you just want to look through here and see if you can actually see any visible, you know, dust and specks and stuff. I do see a couple, but quite honestly, it's a lot better than what I was seeing before. So I'm happy with this. It worked for me. Still in great working condition. Yeah, that's pretty simple. I think the next thing that I would want to do with this camera is clean up the taking lens here. So I saw a video on how to, you know, pretty much unscrew this with like a rubber, essentially a rubber gasket. Because my taking lens actually, I believe, has a little bit of haze on it. And I want to see if I can give that a quick clean as well. Just to make sure that when I'm taking pictures on here, they look like pretty solid all the way through. So that might be my next video. I might add it on to here, if anything, we'll see. But yeah, that's me cleaning the mirror and the focus screen for the Yashica 124. I would recommend that if you are, you know, somebody who's pretty good at, you know, doing these kind of things, give it a shot for yourself. Why not, right? You just got to be careful, make sure you don't damage anything, you know, do this at your own discretion. And yeah, it should be pretty simple to do. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you've experienced any other issues or any other tricks to keeping this camera clean. I haven't had a TLR for too long, so I'm like decently new at it, but yeah, I like that it's not that tricky to clean and whatnot. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment with any questions or anything that you might have. Yeah, appreciate it. See you guys in the next one.